Now, get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas, with Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. Stars talking Cowboys. Let's go!
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast, repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox, spitting facts. K Boogie's giving game. Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz. And that Stars talking Cowboys, yeah, you know what time it is. Yo, welcome back to another podcast episode of Stars Talking Cowboys. Starring Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki is in the building.
You gonna dig this. Let's go.
Yo, welcome back to another.
Good evening, everyone. We have another edition of Stars Talking Cowboys. I am one of your hosts, Sean Fox. My other two counterparts will be on shortly. How we doing this evening? It's football season. Man, can't wait. Can't wait for football, the real season to start in about 13 days, 14 days. And then the Cowboys play in about 16, about 16, 17 days. We talk about this all the time, but it seems like football season is the shortest the shortest time of the year. Once September gets here, it just seems like February is just right around the corner. So nevertheless, hey, Miss Oliver. Yep. Hey, Crystal. Definitely cannot wait for football season to come. But before we get started, give us your thoughts about training camp and the preseason game so far. Now, let me get my disclaimer first. I don't put any stock into the preseason games as far as who wins and who loses. I put my stock into the players' output, what the players play, how hard the players play. Obviously, by the score, we lost the first preseason game. The second game, we came back with a little bit better output, more so due to special teams. But let me know your thoughts. Hey there, Coolie Cool. How you doing? What's up, Max? So it looks like in Cowboys news, until my other two co-hosts come in here, it looks like Michael Gallup will not be put on the PUP list. It was reported that he was going to be put on the PUP list and he was going to miss up to 4 games, but it looks like that his return is going to come a little sooner than that, so he will not be put on the PUP list, which means gives us hope that he's will be back at least. The Cowboys are hoping for at least a second or third game. Reports coming out of Dallas is that he's been doing a lot of running, a lot of drills on the sidelines by himself with the coaches. So let's hope that he makes it back in time to help us out, because right now we are really, really thin at the wide receiver position as far as experience is concerned. We got right now they have penciled in Noah Brown and CeeDee Lamb as the 2 starters, and then they're kind of still working on who they think is going to be that third receiver. So let's just hope that that Michael Gallup comes back. So speaking of wide receivers, do you guys think that we need to pick up another veteran receiver? And if you do think that, who do you think that the Cowboys need to pick up? What's good, Nikki?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, you're not outside on the porch today, huh?
No.
It must be raining out there.
No, it was just still wet and damp and water going down, trying to still go down. Mosquitoes is bad. So, no, not tonight.
All right, so I was just asking what's up, Travis? I was just asking our viewers, what do they think of the preseason and training camps thus far, and not the wins and losses, because I particularly do not, care about the wins and losses. I care about the actual play of the players, how hard they're playing. And if I was to give my take on what I've seen, and I'm just going to go off the last preseason game,
Mhm.
I've been really impressed with the effort of the D line and obviously our special teams unit, particularly one player. I'm not going to hype him up as being the hope and savior for the Cowboys, but he Turbin did really good in that last game.
Oh yeah. He did, and of course he's gonna be a standout for everyone right now going in. But I just say that we just I mean I watched him play at TCU. I watched him play in the USFL as well. So I know that he's talented. I know what he brings to the game. But of course, we want to see these things happen in the games when they count and when it matters. And I think he will. I think he'll shine because he's a baller. He plays hard. I think what I really liked and impressed me about him was how he watched and waited for that play to develop in them lanes. How he just kept that tunnel vision to follow those blocks and follow those lanes and just make his way through. So it brought a lot of excitement, I think, to a lot of fans because that's what we've been looking for on special teams for a long time. We haven't had that dynamic speed. We haven't had that dynamic player on special teams in a long time. He's actually what we hoped Tavon Austin would have been for us when we got Tavon Austin. You know, that was one of the reasons that Bones brought him over as well because he was that special type of not Bones, 'cause Bones wasn't here yet. But who was our special teams coach then?
The guy from the Rams.
Yeah. So, but that's what he brought him over for, Tavon for, because that's the type of excitement he would bring to the game. And just to see that and see it happen, it was awesome. He's one of those players that don't give up. He didn't give up, and he kept doing it. And he said, I liked how he said the first game that he watched because he wanted to get the speed of the game. He wanted to get that path down first before he just got out there and started playing. And he said once he caught the speed of it, it made it easier for him. So I'm hoping that we use him in other ways other than just punt returns and kickoff returns. I think he would be a good mix up in the lineup as a wide receiver because he played both positions. So that was good to see. For me, preseason, I'm kind of with you. I don't judge it by the wins and losses, but I do want to see certain things in the game. And that very first game, I was, livid because I was livid because of the penalties. I understand that it was second team and third team players or however, but it's just certain positions and certain things on the team we can't have. We can't allow it to happen. Um as I was just sitting here watching NFL Network, they was just we was one of their focal points about the penalties and if that was going to continue for us. And while we did cut penalties down this past week, we still have to get those penalties under control, especially those pre-snap penalties. I didn't realize we had 47 pre-snap penalties last season. I knew we had over. I mean, I knew how many penalties we had, but I didn't realize 47 of them came from pre-snap. That's not gonna get it. That's ridiculous. And those pre-snap penalties came from veteran players. So we have to get that under control because those penalties can make or break a game or tilt a game for you.
Yeah, and definitely we you know we talk about this all the time. Those penalties is on coaching. You know, it's on concentration or non-concentration of the players, but it's more on the discipline of the coaches. I know back in the day when I played football, you catch a penalty, especially in practice or something like that. You doing laps. You're doing something. You're doing something to make sure that you get reminded of the fact that you can't have these pre-snap penalties, and those are the worst. those are just basically about concentration. And good point here, Crystal. Discipline has always been a problem, and you definitely have to be more conscious as a veteran players. And a lot of our penalties weren't just by rookies or new players. A lot of them were by some of these veteran players. So we have to do better to have the number one offense in the league and to have the most be the most penalized team in the league. Just think what could have happened if we wouldn't have had all those penalties. We would have had a little bit more success, put a little bit more points, a few more points on the board. So you go to training camp today, Nikki?
No, I didn't go today. I'm going tomorrow. I'm gonna go tomorrow, and then of course the game Friday.
Okay. So before we get into any other Cowboys news, you had a topic that you wanted to talk about. The guy that was suing the NFL for being blackballed in the league because he said he didn't want to take a contract that was a slave driving contract, as he spoke.
Yeah, that's basically what he said. What he said, and he feels like ever since after he made that statement, he hadn't been able to get another job in the NFL. He's had calls. He's went to different you know teams. They like worked him out, but they didn't actually give him a job. And he feels like the reason why they did it was basically because they didn't want to act. They didn't want it to be seen that oh, we're not even trying to put him on a team after his statements. But I don't know about the 300 million, lawsuit. I don't know about him getting it much. I don't even know if he's gonna even get win the lawsuit. Right now he's his own attorney. So maybe he knows a lot more than he think he knows. But I'm saying if you're gonna try to do that to that extent, you might need to get your own attorney. I mean, get an attorney. I would say Kyle Busby, but it seems like he only want to defend women against the NFL or against players. So I ain't can't even tell him to Kyle Busby, but he might need to check into him an attorney that can actually help him with this case. Um, I don't know if it's valid. I don't know if it's not valid. I was trying to do a little bit more research on it, but I hadn't had a chance to do it yet. But I'm just going by what the article said. So I don't know. I mean, it could be some bears to it. We don't know. I know in the chat, Leo said that he didn't he's gonna get tossed out because he said one white player. He didn't say a whole bunch of white players. Um, but I don't think there's grounds to toss it out. I mean, you if he have valid reason and have valid issues, I mean, who's to say that they're gonna toss it out based on that?
So I looked it up, and it said that he tore his left Achilles tendon a week prior to his first game of the season, and I think this was in like 2015, which ended his first season with his new team after he left the Saints. Then he came back and tore his right Achilles prior to the 2016 season. So his once you tear your Achilles, you can come back from them. But to tear both Achilles, especially being a linebacker or a defensive lineman, those are kind of those. I'm not gonna say those are hard to come back, but those are long injuries to come back from. So I think he left because of injuries. He rehabbed himself, and nobody really picked him up, and so he came up. And Coolio, we're talking about Junior Gillette. He played with the Saints, uh, Washington, and let's see, it was somebody else he played for. There are some teams that worked him out. According to the lawsuit, it says in a 21-page lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court of Florida, he sued the league, the NFL Players Association, Commissioner Roger Goodell, and several teams: the Seahawks, Rams, Raiders, Browns, Chiefs, Panthers, and the Commanders. Um, so I don't know if there's any validity to this lawsuit. The only thing that interested, that caught my attention was the fact that pretty much is that he didn't, is that he sued because he felt like it was because of his statement. His statement said exactly just that. Um, he didn't want to take a slave driving contract. So I can't really say the validity of his lawsuit. And I'm like, what you say the guy was named in the chat. I think it's gonna get thrown out.
And it may. But I'm gonna shift from that real quick. I just got some little breaking news. Tyron Smith has been escorted to the locker room injury. Um as all we know right now, that's all being said right now. They gonna be doing an MRI to see how much that what is going on with what's going on and how bad it is.
What? Yeah, I'm seeing something now. What was it?
Hold on.
Practice appears to be done for Kyle Tucker, who
They
walked.
haven't said they haven't said exactly what it is yet. They just know that he's walking. They taking him to the locker room. And text I just got said that they're gonna do an MRI in the morning.
And this is even more reason why, as you say all the time, we need another swing tackle.
Exactly, and this is exactly why I keep saying we need a swing tackle. Tyron Smith is not dependable anymore. He's just not that guy anymore. I mean, I'm sorry, he's not. Like we can't depend on him. That can't depend on him anymore.
And there's a lot of veteran swing tackles that are still out there. Some who uh, want a little bit more money than they think that they're worth. There's some who they're up in age. I'm not going to say up in age, but has NFL years behind them. So you know we're going to see what management's going to do. But even with even with just this injury, hopefully that is minor. Look at all the season ending injuries that have happened in preseason to teams. Um, and that's the one reason why the Cowboy starters aren't playing in any of these games. Well, most of them. Some of them have been, but most of them really aren't playing. Look at all the injuries that are happening. And I know we talked about it in the chat the other day, and I made a comment about I think a lot of these injuries are coming on because players aren't used to that. They're not used to that physical aspect of training camp anymore or the off season because the players association have come up with all these agreements that the players can't do this, the players can't do that. Um, there's not a lot of contact even after during the season. I think they only have one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. I think they only have one practice with pads on during the week now.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
and you're
And I
right
know
though.
a lot of fans saying, want to see the starters briefly, or at least because a lot of fans consider it as a warm up, and I get that, and I always say we know injuries can happen any time of the game. It doesn't matter if it's preseason, regular season, however, injuries are part of the game. But if you can prevent it from happening before, the season start, then I mean I get it. And I think Mike McCarthy has been a little bit more cautious with it because of the fact that, we look at our history, that's how we lost, let's be face it, that's how we lost Romo, in a meaningless preseason game, you know. And Cooley right, you can get hurt in practice, you can get hurt anywhere. Injuries is part of the game, but I don't think you put them out there to get them injured if you don't have to. But I mean, I get both sides of it. A part of me kind of want to see it, but then a part of me like, nah, I'd rather not risk it. I'd rather not take that chance.
Well, it looks like everybody's definitely getting away with it. I know Sean McVay over the last couple of years, he's during the Rams preseason, he didn't play none of his starters. You know, so all I can say is we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm trying to find this article real quick on ESPN, and I want to get everybody's opinion on it if I can find it. Okay, hold on. Here it comes. I just want to play this. I want to play this segment off of ESPN, and I want everybody to give me their opinion on it. Let's find it here. Do, 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 do. Give me a second. All right, here we go.
Dak is in the best position he's been in to succeed since he got there?
Listen, I actually believe so. I think we've talked a lot about the offensive line and, maybe some of the issues that they feel like they're facing this year. But like, remember last year, I mean, Dak is coming off a brutal injury, misses a bunch of time, in the offseason. They're not sure when he's going to be ready. Then he gets there and his shoulder's bothering him. So they essentially shut him down for training camp. And then he has arguably his best season of his career. And so now you contrast with that with what he's walking into this year. Sure, no Amari Cooper, but look, they have other really good players on that team. And all this talk about, uncertainty on the offensive line, I just would remind people, even though this was the best offense in football a year ago, and statistically, yeah, I think you have to look at it. They ranked 23rd in pass protection. So it's not like Dak Prescott, didn't have to deal with any pressure a year ago. So I actually think that the way the defense looks, the way that Dak is healthier coming into the season, I think he's set up for success.
So, what do you think about that interview, Nikki, and those of you who are on the line? Did you see it?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, we have somebody in the back that want to say hi.
Hey there.
She want to get out my view.
she
Uh,
she want to get on the she want to get on the show.
I would say, I mean, I think it was a good interview, but I don't know. I can't say that he's in the best position because we have a lot of new moving pieces this season. Starting off with the wide receiver situation. Besides Lamb, but we have a lot of new moving pieces for the offense as well. And then seeing this about hearing about Tyron Smith being hurt again, I don't know if he's in the best position this season. Only time will tell. And like I keep saying, the first 3 games will tell us a lot about this team. The first 3 games will tell us a lot about Dak as well.
So once I listened to it, the only thing that I took out of that interview or that segment was that we had the 23rd ranked offensive line. So that means that, you know, we struggled, and your offensive line is definitely one of the cores of the team for you to be successful. So having a 23rd ranked offensive line and still having one of the best offenses in the NFL tells us that tells me that our quarterback is he's used to duress, but he made some plays out of it. So that's the only thing I really took out of it. What'd you say, Travis? You don't listen to that BS no more. Let's see here. The artist King says, "Oops, put the wrong one up here." Turpin and Pollard should get slotted often. Well, we saw a lot of plays where uh, Pollard and Zeke were in the backfield together. And then they had Pollard motion out to the slot. We should have been doing that way before we doing it this year. Let's see here what Terry Turner says. False hope. We need to retire Tyron Smith, start Collins, bench. What you said, bad is.
Yeah, I don't
Start
like Vidaz. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't like him. He's not what that is. For a center. I've been preaching this even before this season. I seen enough of him last season to know that he's not the center. that we need. I mean, I know Travis Frederick ain't coming back, but I'm just if we could just get a clone of Travis Frederick, I will be okay.
Yeah, Cooler, this wouldn't be a bad move right here either. But I think he wants, more
He wants some
money.
money.
He wants some money.
They
So
did reach out to him and they did speak with him, but the amount of money that his agent said he wanted, he trying to get his last big deal. So
well, with the way these injuries are going, um, he'll have a job sometime this season. That's going to be there. All right. So what do you think? Give us your thoughts on this last preseason game. Look like you got somebody want your attention back there, huh? Give me your well, I
my
just
thoughts on the last preseason game. Of course, Turpin was the highlight for me. Um, like I said, I watched him in college. I watched him in the USF FL. I was excited when we got him. So I liked that explosion from him on special teams. I'll give credit that we did cut the penalties down. The week before we had what 17. Saturday we had like what 7. Still a few that was unnecessary. Um, but hey, at least it was moving in the right direction. Um, I like the D line. I like the fight in them. I just liked how they came and even though it wasn't a real game, and I know that most of them are playing for a spot, they they stood up for the task. They made it hard. They made it hard to see who we gonna keep, who gonna get cut, who we gonna be able to pull back onto the practice squad. They made that decision hard last night. I mean, last Saturday night they made the decision real hard. Um, I want to see more of Greer. I think we didn't see as much as him as we probably wanted to because his playing time got cut down because of the fact of Turpin with the two run backs. So it kind of cut his playing time down. So I do want to see more of him to see. I know he has a groin injury that he's kind of nursing as well, but I do want to see more of him. I mean, my mind is kind of made up on Danucci. He ain't it for us. Um, Cooper, I'm over him. Cooper Rush, I'm over Cooper Rush. So for me, I just think I think even though the play calling wasn't big, which we didn't expect it to be, because it's preseason. I think they had a pretty good playing ball. Another guy stood out for me was Dottle, the running back. Um, I like him. He run hard. He taking advantage of every chance he get. He's taking advantage of it. Out of corners. I'm still not seeing what I want to see as much from that secondary like I want to see. Um Nashawn Wright, I think he kind of buying his way out the door. Um, he have a good play, but then it comes with a flag. So I'm thinking to myself, Anthony Brown got to be teaching him because he being Anthony Brown 2.0 right now. You know, um, uh, Kelvin Joseph. I had high hopes for him. I expected more from him. I understand that he had some issues coming into the game, into the season. With the off season ish, things he had. So a part of me felt like he that was kind of still lingering on for him. But I'm not saying what I want to see from him. I'm not saying that what I want to see from him. I'm not saying get rid of him, but I'm not saying what I think I should be seeing from him right now. Um, I think I like the fact that we went for the 2-point conversion. I think we're gonna be going for a lot of them, depending on Brett Myers' kicking, depending on how he doing with the kicks. I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of those 2-point conversions. The going forward on fourth down. I like the idea of going forward on fourth down, even though we were 2 for 2, but I liked it. Um, I feel like McCarthy coaching for his life this season. I just feel that's how I feel. Um, so it was a lot of good takes that I took I liked from the game Saturday. As you can see, I'm not as hard on him this week as I was the first week. Um, I think for me, I was more annoyed about the penalties, about so many penalties. That's what I was more annoyed about. But I think this gonna be the first time. Not gonna say first time, but I think in a long time that we gonna have. They gonna have a hard time deciding on who they're gonna keep, especially on the defensive side of the ball, especially the depth that they have right now. It is gonna be hard to decide on who they're gonna keep because them boys on defense is giving everything they got in them. They are giving everything they have in them. Um, I mean, I know we only played three preseason games. Well, this will be the third one tomorrow, but the first don't they are giving everything they have. They are. So I just want to see. I just hope we make the right decisions on who we should keep and who we should not keep, and of who we decide not to keep. I hope we can pull a few of them back to the practice squad. No, Dak is not going to be playing in the last preseason game. Matter of fact, none of the starters are going to be playing. Mike McCarthy announced that today.
Well, my take on the preseason game, obviously, if you watch some of the highlights, there was a highlight of Turbin taking the kickoff return back for a touchdown. But I'm like most everybody on here that's made these comments. I am excited about the defense. The defensive line, and like Nikki said, it's going to be hard to decide on who to keep and who to let go on that especially on that defensive line. This is probably the one of the first time I've been optimistic about the defensive line. Even Trish Hill, who we felt like was a wasted draft pick. Uh,
Preseason game, he's still
yeah,
lazy. He
yep,
playing for he playing for a spot. He know he had to show up. He trying to stay on on the team. I still need to see more from him as well.
definitely. I definitely need to see more from him also. But he's been, granted against lower competition. He's been given an effort. He's been given an effort. So what's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up, people? Sorry I'm late. Whew.
Jeff, I just sent you an invite over.
You done turned into the new Nikki.
Nah, Nick. Nah, just Wednesday is crazy. It's all good.
All right, so Shannon thinks that Hill would get traded. Well, that would be nice. Get some trade stock from him. Let's see. Kelly says I need to take our O line to altar call because they all the power. Uh, yeah. So it's K Boogie. We've been talking about pretty much. We've been just really talking about the preseason game, what the good from it, not necessarily the score, but this the So what was your takeaways from the preseason game?
Preseason game. This game was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting. I mean, we found a kickoff return, man. That's what I was more actually important for me to watch. Special teams. Because we haven't had an electric kickoff return man and punt return man in such a long time. So when Turbin took those two kicks back, I was so happy. I was so elated. I was overjoyed, to be honest with you. So that's what I was looking for. I mean, I'm not really looking forward. I mean, I really wasn't paying attention too much to the wide receivers because that wasn't really in there. But I did pay attention to the cornerbacks. Right? He has to step up. Boss man Fat, he has to step up because we're going to need him. We're going to really need him because we play against some really good quarterbacks this year. So whatever's going on between those two guys right now, they have to step up. They have to step up because Lewis is going to be out for a little while because he's out injured. So those two individuals are going to have to step up and play in a major way. That's what I was paying attention to more to the secondary and our special teams against the Chargers.
Like I said, I was saying before, you know, let's see here. Shannon Jenkins said Bland is my new man. Right now, they have him pretty low on the depth chart. So let's hope that he can move up. I mean, we have some depth. Is do we have the experience? We don't have a lot of experience behind the receivers. I mean, the DBs that we do have starting. So, with that being said, we have a special guest tonight. It's
What's
one of
going on?
our, it's one of our, one of our, me and Nikki's old co-hosts from back in the day. When we was doing just a podcast, we weren't just talking about Cowboys. And he's actually he's a friend of mine. He's familiar with Nikki. He only has one bad trait, and I'll let him tell you what his bad trait is.
Yeah, I already see it.
my,
already see it.
my only bad trait is that I love my team.
So how you doing, Jeff?
Man, I've been sick all day, bro. My voice is terrible.
Uh, what
I just
the,
had to
well,
give a class, and my throat is pretty jacked. But I'm gonna have a couple drinks. So I'll sort that right out.
we won't take up too much of your time
Nah,
tonight.
you're good, man. You're good.
So we definitely want to get you're probably one of the most objective Eagles fans that I've met. Even though you still give us hell. And
I mean,
I see you in certain trash talk groups giving us hell, but I have to respect your opinion of the Cowboys because you're probably one of the most objective Eagles fans that I've ever met in my life, and
I
that's saying
appreciate
a
that.
lot. That's
I
saying a whole
appreciate
lot.
that.
And obviously, you remember Nikki? We did shows
Yep.
together. And this is K Boogie. Uh,
What's
he's
good, Jeff?
Nah, man. Another day, bro.
All
Another
right.
day.
All right.
We're almost there, man.
I
We're
live in
almost
Jersey.
there.
I'm from New York. But I live in Jersey, so you know what it is. You already
Yep.
know.
I
And
mean,
I'm a
I
Cowboy
live I
fan,
live
so you already know.
I live in Florida, man. I'm way away from everything.
Okay, I hear you.
Right? I live in Tampa, Delphia, man.
Tampa, Delphia.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
all right. So real quick, like I said, we won't take up too much of your time tonight, but uh, give us your honest opinion on the NFC East. Uh, and you can start with your Eagles and then work your way down. And then
Uh,
we'll comment from our we'll comment give our comments and let some of the viewers comment also.
so I don't think that we're in a position to be labeled the NFC least anymore, right? I think there's been a lot of moves that have been done. I still think that everybody's got work to be done. Um, but I'm going to do it a little different, right? I'm going to start from the bottom to the top, right? And I'm gonna put the commodes down there at the bottom, right? Now that we know that Chase Young is going to be out for at least 4 weeks, defense is going to be, I mean, they still got Jared Allen, right? So they'll be okay. But they got Carson Wentz, Wince, Wentz. I got no respect for that dude anymore, right? Third team in as many years, whatever. He's been throwing worm burners all preseason, so no idea. Giants, I think the Giants will do a little bit better. What's his name? Kadarius Toney is probably going to be healthy this year. Not really sure if Daniel Jones is going to last the entire year. I don't know. People say he's been doing good in preseason, but I don't know. And then I think Dallas will take second, right? I think the loss on the O line, the questions at wide receiver are going to hinder you. Your defense is definitely going to carry you guys. Your defense is solid. You can't knock Parsons as much as I want to talk trash about him. I can't. I mean, the kid's a stud. I mean, the kid comes in as a linebacker, decides, the team decides to move him to DN, and he just terrorizes quarterbacks. Can't be upset at that. And it was, defensive player of the year or rookie of the year or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
rookie of the year.
Say less, right? I mean, you can't be a terrible player and be defensive rookie of the year or player of the year. I mean, it's just whatever. The kid's great. I'm going to give some trash about Diggs, right? He was ranked up there high, right? And probably deservedly so off last season. But I want to see him do that again this year. I know Ramsey was talking about he plays. What do you call that? Was it in cycle, out of cycle? Is that what he said the other day? I think it was.
I didn't listen to the interview,
So,
but I'll go back.
yeah. So Jalen Ramsey was talking about Diggs, and I guess he was saying that the difference between Jalen and Trayvon is the fact that Trayvon plays in cycle, right? So he's going to be a bit more aggressive, which is why he got all the picks. That's exactly what Jalen said, which is great. But if he misses, it's a big miss, and that's where all those yards come from. And that's kind of where a lot of people, myself included, said that the hype that he was getting was a little bit overdone. Felt like he was a little bit overrated, but we'll give him another year, see what he can do, because it's only 1 year, right? Got to come back. If you can do it year two, I'll recant everything I said about him being overrated and say he's a solid, top 5 corner in the league. And then, Philly. Biggest question right now for us, we have 3 of them, right? Safety, running back, and of course the quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen. I still think, and when the schedule was put out, I said we were an 11-win team, right? I still think 12 is probably the limit for anybody in the East. I think Dallas will probably be 9-10. It'll all depend on how the first half of the season starts. I know you guys are opening up at Tampa Bay. I thought that was going to be a tough game at first, but their O-line is decimated, and that makes me wonder or worry, with Tom Brady, if he doesn't have enough time to move the ball, and at his advanced age, how's that going to play? I don't care how many weapons you have. If you're not able to get it out, it's going to be tough. But Eagles should win it. We'll go back to 2004 without having a repeat NFC East champion. And then I still think you guys will probably have enough to make the playoffs, depending on how everything else does. And hopefully, if all goes right, we can meet in the playoffs. Because that would be fun. Playoff atmosphere. Ooh. So
you know what happened the last time that happened, right?
Yeah, we took a big old L. We took a big
Uh-huh.
old L. I know.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
Oh no. Hey, that was then. That was then. I'm all about it, man.
Hey, listen, don't forget that is actually 25-6 versus the NFC East. So
He is.
we're gonna see. We're gonna definitely see. I mean, the Eagles are strong, right? With their interior defensive line and O-line, we're a little weak, right? So that's why a lot of actually analysts are picking the Eagles. And also, you're stronger at the wide receiver position than we are at cornerback. The only question mark you guys really have is at quarterback. Can Jalen put you guys over the top?
Yep.
So it's going to be very interesting. I want to see the moves that we make before the season and during the season to see if we can strengthen up our team and straighten up our weaknesses. So we're going to see.
I mean, you can't take anything from preseason serious, man. I mean,
nah, you can't.
The only I've told people before, really the only things that I'm looking for is can they maintain assignments, and I'm watching the line, both offensive and defensive. Right? Are the dudes planting their feet properly? Are they picking up their assignments? Are they blocking? Are they going to pull properly or whatever? If that's going on, that sets everything else in motion. If that all is a problem, it's going to be a problem for the remainder of the season.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. Do you trust your coach?
With the head coach?
The head coach. Do you really trust him in the big games? Do you really trust your head coach?
Right now, no. Right? And the only reason I say that, and I have to wonder if we're actually going to get the full story about what happened in Tampa Bay, right? Because halfway through the season, he kind of gave up. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he kind of gave up play calling, right? About halfway through the season when we turned into a run-first team. But I really get the feeling, based on how everything was going, that in that game, that he was like, yo, let me get this back for the playoffs. And it bit him.
Do you want Mike McCarthy? We'll trade him for
Hard pass, my friend.
a washing machine and a box of laundry detergent.
After zero consideration, I'll have to say that's a real quick no.
Nikki, you got any response to Jeff's analysis when you were on here?
She's muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
She's muted.
And she got a frown on her forehead, so we can't hear you.
Yeah, right. She does. She muted.
Let me see if I
Unmute
can
yourself,
unmute.
boo.
I can't unmute you, Nikki. You have to unmute yourself. I-
Can y'all hear
so
There we
me?
go.
we can
There
hear
we
Now
you
we
go.
can
now.
hear you.
Okay. I didn't know where I was on the screen. I was like, okay. Um, what was the question? Did I have anything for Jeff?
Yeah.
No, only thing I think my only question would be, do you really see Jalen stepping up this season?
I think he can step up. I don't know how much he's going to step up. Honestly, we won't know that until 2-3 games into the season. His release has been quicker. Um, last year he was a one read quarterback. He's working on 2-3 right now, and his footwork looks decent. I know the offensive coordinator Shane Steckton, or however you pronounce it, was saying that he didn't want to stop him from being a running quarterback, but I think he's going to have to be with all the weapons that he has and with the amount of time that he should get from that O line. He should be okay. But if he doesn't make that transition, if he doesn't make that move to be what was put in front of him, right, for him to be, like, he was handed the keys to the range, right? If he can drive off, then he's solid. But if he can't drive, then we're trading that Joker in for a Maserati in the draft. No worries.
So when let's go back to um, Hurts. When he got the job, how did you Eagles fans feel? Because it was just like, you know, Wentz, boom, you're out of here. Hurts, you got the job.
When he took over, like
Yeah,
at the end of the season, or when he
yeah.
started last year?
No, at the end of the season, 2 years, a couple years ago before Wentz,
Oh man,
when Wentz
I
was still on
was
the team.
I was elated. I mean, honestly, I would have honestly taken what the hell was his name that was here? I already forgot his name. Sorry, the dude is in San Francisco now. He was a third string. When it came in, everybody was pissed off when they pulled him in week 17.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
drawing a blank, but him, right? I would have been happy with him just riding out the rest of the season. Honestly, I was done and over with Wentz. I mean, his mentals were just shot. There was nothing left for him to finish that season, and it was just time to pull him out. I'm glad they got rid of him. Unfortunately, we had to pay for him last year, but we had to pay for him and get a first round pick. So worth it, I guess.
okay. Okay, Wookie, you got anything else for Jeff about the Eagles
Yeah.
before we move
Just
on?
one thing about Diggs. We all know that Diggs basically is going to keep improving because he only been playing cornerback for 5 years.
That's true.
So that's why my man is always basically just eager to make a play because he hasn't settled his feet yet. Once he starts settling his feet, then he's gonna be a real force at the cornerback position. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing about Diggs. He's always ready to go because he's always willing to take chances. So
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna settle down this year. I have a feeling he's gonna settle down a little bit, and he's gonna be that cornerback that we need him to be. Because on the other side, we have Mr. Brown, and we
Mm-hmm.
know the Eagles are going to pick on him a lot because you guys are stacked with the wide receiver position. I wrote down the wide receivers that you guys have on your squad. You guys are stacked. So
And we
if
still have some questions about who's gonna, like, how many and who's gonna
yeah,
end up in the bottom tier there.
and I didn't even put down the cat that runs the 40 and like 4-2 flat. I didn't even put him
Prac-
down yet,
Practice squad.
but he's good too. So
Mm-hmm.
you guys are loaded. So at Jalen, see, I'm a Bama fan, right? So I've seen Jalen. I've seen him play. I've seen him, sit the bench and be a professional about it. But this is the NFL, so he
Mm-hmm.
knows that if he does not actually progress his game, he's going right back to the bench. He's going back to the bench, and he will not be the quarterback of the Eagles because the Eagles
Yep.
have 2 first-round draft choices, and there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out in the first round. So, I
There is.
mean, the Eagles have a lot of assets that they could actually trade to move up
Mm-hmm.
in the draft if they really needed it. So I mean, even though we Cowboy fans too, we sit down, we analyze our competition as well, so we can talk
Yeah.
to guys like yourself intelligently. So when
We
you come
have
on the
to.
show, you feel because when you come on the show, we want you guys to feel comfortable. We're not going to be like talking nah, nah, nah. No, we want to talk to you and be intelligent fans because we are intelligent fans
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
So we
Oh, I
appreciate
know
your
that's
knowledge. We
right.
appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
Well, my take on the Eagles is that right now, in my opinion, you guys probably have the best D line and the best O line in the division. And that's going to be to me that's going to be the Eagles' strong point. Um, when it comes to Hurts, um, I know I guess you guys are mixed. You get your fan base has mixed feelings about him. They're like 50-50. Some have a lot of faith in him, some don't. I'm the one who says he's a threat at running, but can he get the balls to the wide receivers when he needs to?
Mhm.
And I'm not necessarily talking about on 1st and 10 when he could throw a slant or a curl route. I'm more so on like the 3rd and 8 to 10, 3rd to 8 to 12 yard line where he has to really make that play. Can he get the ball to those receivers? That's if I was an Eagles fan, that would be my concern.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, like Hey Boogie was saying, that one, he's going to be on Diggs, right? Which I think what's going to get y'all is having Slim Reaper on Brown, right? Because Slim runs some of the best routes in the NFL. I mean, I'm not going to
Mm.
say that he's like Randy Moss, but it is like Moss esque the way he runs his routes. Then you got Quez and Zach Pascal in the slot. I mean, that's just nasty. Now you got this kid, Kane. He's a
Yep,
big
Dion.
kid. He's got Deion Kane. He's a big kid. He's got big hands. I mean, wow.
You got Jalen Rager too and Greg Ward.
Oh, come on,
They don't
man.
they don't like Rager.
Can we
I'm
just get
just
rid of
saying.
that
I'm
kid
just
already?
saying. I'm just
We
saying,
look, we
man.
already got rid of one. We got rid of one, thank God.
Yeah.
And Howie did his Howiness and flipped that trade into a draft pick. And I'm really excited about that. I don't know if you saw it, Sean, but I posted something. I swear to God,
Yeah.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside has never in his entire NFL career caught a pass with his feet on the ground.
Yeah, I remember. And as a
You
matter of
watch it.
fact, yeah,
I was jumping. I was jumping.
yeah,
He's so stupid.
I will give Howie one thing, except for 1 year. There's 1 year that I did not understand what he was doing, but
18?
he's hands down, the best general manager in the NFC East right now, as far as the
Yeah,
moves
he
that
is.
he makes. He makes some aggressive moves, and he makes
Mhm.
moves that you wouldn't think that he could pull off.
Yep.
If we could have that mentality, I think that we could build around the team that we have, but we don't have that mentality. And Nikki
Well, I
speaks
mean,
about
you guys do have the mentality, but your one problem is
yeah,
at the
Jerry,
top. I
yeah,
mean,
That
so
Jerry
and
Jones.
Jura Jones, right? So it's him, and then for us, it was the same issue, right? We had Jeff Lurie who was dipping his hands into the draft. Some of these guys, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, Andre Dillard, were Jeff Lurie picks, right? They weren't Howie Roseman picks, right? So for this year, for the draft, Howie was able to get Jeff to step away, right? And now we see what came of that, right? The moving and shaking, what came down to get AJ Brown to catch Nakobe Dean in the 3rd round, which was just baffling, right? And then getting Jordan Davis in the 1st. It's just the dude is a absolute genius and a salary cap master, for real.
I do have another question though. I
What's
just
up?
thought about it. So what if Jalen struggles, right? For like, let's say the first 4 games, would you guys be open to trading for Jimmy G?
No,
And why not though? Jimmy G, hey, he took his team to playoffs year after year, went to Super Bowl. Why wouldn't you want actually Jimmy G?
no, I'm good.
I think they're satisfied with was Minshew.
No,
What?
the
You know,
stash. Oh, Uncle Rico.
yeah,
I mean, he pulled a real Uncle Rico in the offseason too, living in a van behind a gym. I
He
mean,
did.
Wow.
Art imitates life, my friend.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all knew that he was literally living in a what was it? I think it was an old inmate transportation van or something like that that he
Mm.
converted and had power run into it. And the only thing he went into the gym for was to use the bathroom and take showers. Everything else he
Wow.
did in the van, besides obviously the workout.
Wow. I'm surprised you wouldn't be satisfied with a trading for Jimmy G though.
No, because if it doesn't work this year, we're just going to go to the draft. Because the kids that are younger, right? Because you got to think about it. Jimmy G is going to require money, right? I think we only have like 9 million right now remaining. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've looked, but with only 9 million, I don't know what Jimmy G's price tag is. One, can that be worked out? Of course it could, right? But the long term effects of taking on that kind of salary for that kind of guy versus letting it ride out, throwing in Minshew when needed, um, and then if nothing else, going to the draft and again get another young kid that's not going to cost any money, and you build around him even more with them
But
two.
if you don't get to the playoffs, though, it's like the season's going to be a failure. And then you know how the fans are in Philly. The Philly fans going to
Mm-hmm.
go berserk if they're not winning, especially if Hurts struggles. So I think if they did trade for Jimmy G, that may be a bonus for them because if he does leave in free agency, right, then you can get a comp pick for him if you
If
don't
if
re-sign
it's a
him.
1 year, yeah, if it's a 1 year, there's potential there. But if there's any sort of requirement or request for a long term deal to bring him in, it's not worth it, right?
Yep.
Last year was the rebuild. This year is the retool, right? Retooling everything, making sure you got it right. A lot of people, myself included, said last year it's a 2 year plan, right? You got to get through these next 2 years, right? We had to eat the money from Wentz. We had to see what we could get in Jalen, and then from there, then we'll know.
Yeah, and that's going through that scenario is why I give Howie credit because, like you said, you guys had to pay for Wentz, and you still were able to make the playoffs last year. And
Luckily,
Philadelphia is probably one of my top two or three franchises that I just don't like. The Steelers and the Packers. Y'all three franchises are the three franchises that the fans. How y'all feel about us? That's how I feel about those three franchises. But I have to respect what the business of the football that the Eagles, that Howie, how he's able to maneuver
mm-hmm.
everything. It amazes me year after year after year. Even when you guys have a down year, he seems to come back that next year and bounce back just like that. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
take years and years and years to rebuild. He comes back strong. So um, yeah, I have to give you guys credit for that. And anybody in the comments, if you guys have any comments or questions for this Eagles fan here, please put it in there. I think that you were going back and forth with somebody last week, and
Yeah, I don't
I don't
remember who it was.
yeah, I don't remember who it was, but they're not on here.
That's so
Uh,
good.
Before we do go along, I want to make sure that that we pay our respect to Lynn Dawson, who was the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was also they were the Chiefs, they were the Dallas Texans. So he did play in Dallas. So I definitely want to give him, and his family some condolences. Um, I much more so remember him from being a commentator with Inside the NFL
Mm-hmm.
when that first came on. When I first got into learning about football, I would always make sure that I watched uh, Inside the NFL. And I think at that time it used to come on Thursday nights, right
Yeah.
when HBO first started. And I used to sneak and watch that show. When I couldn't, uh, I'd get in trouble. So I definitely want to uh, send out our condolences for him because he's originally from Dallas. So let's say here. Let me give you a little shout out here. It said this Eagle brother seems to know his stuff. Good conversation. Yeah, the artist. We try not to bring anybody on this show that is going to be a bullshitter. We don't want any bullshit on this show. Um, and I have like I said, I have me and this man. We have went added talking about each other's team. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I mean, him and Nikki, they've had some conversations too.
Yeah.
Some deep. But at the end of the day, this is probably, I'm not gonna say the only. We're in a group where we kind of respect each other. And there's Caesar. He knows Caesar. He's in our
Yeah.
group too. Uh, this guy's he knows football, and you could tell the fans that know football, and the fans just only root for their team, and this guy generally
Yeah.
knows it. So Nikki, you've
I
been quiet
appreciate
for a
that,
minute.
man.
Yeah, Nikki, you've been quiet for a minute over there. I know it's men. We've been talking, so we got to give you your due respect. Go ahead, and take over.
No, I'm good. I'm just saying y'all do y'all thing. I'm just listening. It's good. I mean, me and Jeff go way back. We had our rounds, but it was never anything disrespectful. We
Mhm.
just kind of stood our ground on how we felt about it. When we agreed to disagree, we moved on, but we come back and we say, hey, if I'm wrong, I'd be like, hey, Jeff, I was wrong. You know, we've always had that type of
Same.
communication with each other. So
Same.
yeah, I'm good. I mean, I do. I don't know where we're gonna how this. I don't know how this season. We don't know how this season gonna pan out
Mhm.
for anybody. It's kind of hard to say right now. I'm stressed. I'm not. I'm more sticking to our first three games because we got two playoff teams off the bat. We got Tampa Bay, and then we turn around and we got
The
Cincinnati.
Bengals. Hmm.
Then we go over to the then we go to the Giants, which is a division game. So division games are always different. No matter how bad the team is, no matter what. You know, Gov, you got some green shit on your head.
On your hat. Mm.
But
Hey,
Lord have
this one right
mercy.
here, bro. I swear. I'm sorry, Nikki. So when the NFL came out with these hats, I was like, hey, I messaged the NFL and I messaged the Eagles. I'm like, hey, you guys can't just do the old midnight green, right? You guys are gonna have to come around and go old school on them. So they went and did it, and I could not be happier. Especially with next season when we come back out with the Kelly Green jerseys. Woo-hoo.
you gotta be ashamed of
Man,
yourself.
come on now.
You need to go pray tonight.
I prayed that they was gonna make this hat, and they did. My prayers were answered.
Yeah, you need prayer.
I'm 1 for 1.
Mm.
Goodell is setting us up. The haters is real for our Cowboys. Let's see
So,
here.
hmm.
I'm Petty Boots. I'm ready to clip them birds and fry them. Got some Momo sauce waiting. There we go. There's a true
Week
Cowboy
6,
Eagles.
man.
Yeah, that's the true
Week
Cowboy.
6.
Yeah,
And, and,
week
and,
6.
and
It
you know
goes
what's I
down.
think what's surprising is that we play both of the cold weather teams early in the year
Yeah.
in their stadiums. Am I correct? Two of the three. 'Cause I think we go to Washington. No, Washington comes. I got to look at the schedule. But I'm very shocked that especially the Giants, because we usually play the Giants in December and we go to them in September.
You're playing
We,
Washington at the end,
we
right?
play Washington in the
Yeah, we
last
played
game.
Washington the last game, so yeah,
And
Mm,
Tennessee before that, so it might be a little colder in Tennessee.
mm.
Yeah, it will be cold in Tennessee in December.
yeah, I plan on going to that game. So
Yeah, yeah,
my
it will
brother,
be cold.
my brother lives in Nashville, so I don't have to pay for hotel tickets. Hotels, just gotta buy my ticket and drive up there.
So I got
Man,
to ask you, what do you guys think of this Turpin kid, right? The USFL MVP. Beyond the fact that he was absolutely ghosting those fools. What was it? Saturday, right?
yeah,
So
Yeah.
Saturday.
yeah, Sally. So
Mm.
my thoughts was, he was a man among boys that night, and granted, some of the players out there probably won't be on the team, but some of those guys will be on the team. A kickoff return is just that, a kickoff return. I don't care what level
Mhm.
it is. If you have the speed and the vision is what I was more impressed with than the speed. Speed,
Mhm.
speed kills. We all know that. But the vision, especially on that kickoff return, if you notice, he took the ball up and he made a cut, maybe a 3 or 4 yard cut to his right, and then hit the hole. He had to have vision to see that, and that's what it really impressed me about him. I don't see him doing having a Devin Hester year, but I see him helping us get pretty good field position.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
that was gonna be my follow up for sure. Is, do you think it could be a Devin Hester type player? And then the other question would be, did they show their hand with what they have there now? And then it's gonna force kickers to do something different. Play the sidelines and force him now to try and make some extra cuts.
I mean, I think it could go. I think it could go either way. I think, but at the end of the day, I mean, we needed to see. We needed
Hmm.
to get him out there. Um, before the season started. They needed
Yep.
to. I mean, we know from seeing him in the USFL. Like I said, I followed him at T. I seen him play with TCU. So I kind of knew that the kid was special, but at the end of the day, we needed to see it. We needed to know that he possibly could do it. It's going all depend. That's him, Kelly, in this damn magic.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Excuse
Let's
me, I'm
go.
sorry. Oh, that was
Let's
great.
go, Shouty. Let's go, Shouty.
But yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. I mean, they're not. I'm sure a lot of kickers. They're. Hey, I see they.
That's why I love this show. You never know what to expect.
They gonna probably um kickers going they're probably gonna coach tell them not to kick, but they not gonna do it all the time. It ain't gonna happen all the
Mhm.
time. One of
Right.
those kicks gonna sail down that way and he gonna get it. So it's just a matter of it's just all about how it all play out. We'll see.
Yep.
He's gonna be our
But
X
Cooley,
factor. He's gonna be
yep.
our X
Cooley made a
factor. I
good
think
point.
he's gonna be
Yeah,
our X factor more than anything else because we was lacking speed like that on our offense out wide. So right now you can put him in the slot. You can do some gadget
on
plays with
special
him.
teams, period.
well,
We was
yeah,
Exactly.
not yeah.
lacking.
I'll say not only that, then you don't have to have your starting wide receivers and your backup almost starting running back there returning
Getting
kicks and
hurt.
stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's
That's how
I'm
Des
yeah,
got hurt.
yeah, definitely.
Speaking of running backs,
You know what? I do want to talk about Zeke.
Oh Lord.
you knew
Zeke
it
the
was coming.
freak. Zeke the freak.
So let's answer some of these questions first. I think he will be using the
I
slot a
think he
little
will
bit.
too.
Mhm.
Hmm.
He's
Yeah,
gonna be our X factor on offense. Gadget. He's
Hmm.
gonna run a lot of
yeah,
gadget plays as well.
yeah.
Because he is a wide receiver. So, yeah, I think they will use him in the slot. I think Keelan Moore has someone that he can kind of play with, somebody that he can use and, use up if he know how to use them.
Like
That's the
Wilson.
only issue with Kellen Moore. You never know if he gonna come with the right game plan or not. I don't know. He still want to use all the boys estate shit. Like, dude, get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Like
our
I said,
version of Lucky Whitehead. You remember Lucky Whitehead, right? He's
yeah.
gonna be a
Hmm.
faster version of Lucky Whitehead.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, as far as the offense is concerned, I could see them using him like they used Wilson last year. Um, on some of those end arounds, some of those. I don't know about how good he can throw the ball, but he can be a very good decoy. Just think with, you got CD, uh, whoever the other wide receiver is going to be, and then you got Pollard, Zeke, and him on the field at the same time with Pollard or Turpin going in motion. That's going to open up a lot if we use it right. But the Cowboys, our offense. We're still gonna throw a slant on first down. We're gonna run Zeke up the middle on second down. We're gonna get a penalty on third
Oh
down.
Lord, he didn't hold the
A holding
penalty. Here
penalty
we
on
go.
third down, which will make us be on 3rd and 12 or 13, and then go 3 and out because we run a comeback route or a uh, what else we do? We run comebacks and slants on third down. Let's see here, Cooley. How can you
Mm.
use him? How can you use him? Reverse and screen. He's so short, so not many slants for him. Slot, he can run a go route. I would say go route. I would say screens. Look at some of the smaller players in the NFL. What was the kid in Chicago's name? Uh,
I know you're
the,
talking about.
yeah, the
He was
little kid in
fast.
Chicago, and he was fast. The guy in see, I'm not really good at these names. In Kansas City, he was kind of small. They ran a lot of screens for him. Uh, what was you guys that came from the Saints and went to you guys up in Philly? You little Mighty Mouse guy. What was his name?
Who,
Jeff
Darren Sproles?
Sproles. Yeah,
Pros.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not so much as the size anymore in the NFL. It's more the speed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see here. We got some more comments in here. More is so predictable. I, yeah. I mean that's a true statement. Put Kirk
Mm.
and Pollard on the kickoff at the same time. They kick to one of them. Hey, that's yep.
Yeah,
All
they
right,
might
Wow.
do
kick it
that.
out of bounds though. I'd rather kick it out of bounds. They're
and
not
I'm
and
gonna
doing
we
kick
that.
it
and
in
we,
either one
and
of
we get
them.
the ball at the 40. So I mean, like I said, field position is where we help. Where we need. Look at the art. They might lose him in the crowd. He is so tiny. Yeah, I mean, but he's quick.
He's quick.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what we
He's
need.
elusive.
Speed. That's what it's about now. Speed.
yeah. The NFL has went away from, except the D line and O line. They've went away from these real big, huge guys. Well, most teams have. I'm not gonna say all teams, but most teams have. Because now you have
Mhm.
linebackers who were safeties in college.
Mm-hmm.
So the NFL is really changing, to me, if the teams were to go back to that power run game, a team like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, that perfects that power run game, I think they would have a lot more. They would have success with a good defense more so than this run and gun stuff. But that's my opinion there.
That's Cleveland.
Yeah,
Tennessee. That's Tennessee.
No, that's true.
Tennessee.
When King Henry's out, yeah.
King Henry.
I'll tell you who's got some big receivers. Seattle.
yeah,
Big receivers.
but they ain't got no quarterback to get them the ball though.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm
Drew
saying
Lock.
they got some big boys out there, man.
Okay, there you go, Schoolie. Oh, so he said he was typing too fast. The only way is to use him in screens and reverses. And to me, that's a fair assessment. But until we get another receiver, when Gallup comes back, he's not going to be 100%. He's
Nope.
not going to be, just his knee might be repaired, but his body's not going to be 100% football ready. So
They didn't put him on the pup, so that's.
yeah.
I mean, is that saying something without saying something?
Well, like I said earlier, he's been on the sidelines working out. Nikki will tell us a little bit more tomorrow after she, I know what she usually does. She goes to training camp and then she does a little. She'll come back and do her little small little update on what she saw from training camp. So, Nikki, you gonna do that tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll go live.
Okay.
While I'm there, and kind of let everybody see. I'll go live, and I'll go live
But
on the group.
get on Stephen A. Smith at 10 o'clock tomorrow, though. I need you to do that for me, please. Get on
Yeah.
Stephen A. tomorrow, please, please, please. I beg it. Get on him. Get on Stephen A. in Dallas, please.
Yeah, I plan on calling in the morning.
Oh, you're not going to work tomorrow? I'll say. Oh, we shouldn't say that on
Hey,
live, huh?
I'm gonna just put it on the show.
she looking at you like, what? Yo, I can't.
You do look a little pale right now, so.
Well, damn. But no, I don't have nobody in my job on my page. They know.
She got that Tupac.
Can you get an update? He's looking out there. See, there you go, Nikki. We
I
got you.
will.
Oh,
That's
that's her
why I
boo
said
right there.
I'll go live. Yeah, I gotta go check my booze out. I gotta go see which ones I'm gonna start checking off.
He
Wow.
should make the team, though. He should make the team. He should make the team easy. It shouldn't even be a it shouldn't be. That should be an afterthought. He should make the team.
So Nikki, this I know this is your specialty here. Um, Tell us who you think will be uh, cut material
Mm.
coming up.
Oh,
This is,
um,
and I'll be right back.
oh, I don't know. Like it's kind of hard. We got like especially on that D line. On the defensive side, them boys been stepping up on defense. Offense, you can kind of tell. Um, I think Bow. I don't think Bob makes it because he hasn't had a good um preseason. I mean, yeah, preseason. I don't think he make it. I don't know. I gotta go through the list. I really didn't go through the list. Go look at everything yet. I can answer that tomorrow on the last practice and at the last game Friday preseason game. I know who I want gone.
We all know who that is. We all know who that is. But I'd rather have him in the slot. Like I said, I think Lewis is the one in the secondary that needs to go. They pick on Lewis all the time. I don't know why everybody's giving him a free pass. I really don't understand. He's the one with the
Uh,
holding penalties on third down as well. But he gets a free pass, and everybody concentrates on Anthony Brown. It's Lewis to me. He's the weak link. He's the weakest link in our secondary.
well,
He
Anthony
is.
Brown. I mean, you have to give credit where credit due. He did play a little better last season. He did, but I think I was agged with him yesterday because of the fact we in practice and you still getting penalties in practice. So I think I was a little agged, with him yesterday. I was like, here we go. He's starting already, getting penalties in practice, like holding on, and you had Rebs there, so you're holding on to the jersey, like right in front of them, like same shit you was doing in the games, like, and that's why I'm like asking who teaching Nashawn Wright. Is it Anthony Brown? Because right now he playing like Anthony Brown 2.0, doing the same shit that Anthony Brown was doing, and it's aggravating. Like it's like you, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not on the field. I don't know, but to me, it's like it's just some things that you constantly just keep doing that you know is wrong, but you keep doing it because you got that one little hope that the ref not gonna see it and you gonna get away with it.
So there's talk that Brown. Well, we know he was a high ranked cornerback in the league last year.
By who? Oh yeah, them people.
Shit. Analytics. Here we go.
The
Get rid of
eye,
analytics.
the
Get it.
eye
Get it
test is
out.
the best test, and my eyes said no. My eyes said
No.
I'm not.
So Daryl, this is one of Nikki's old. Uh, so how's this looking?
He
Well,
looked good yesterday. He looked good yesterday. Diggs. He looked good yesterday. So I don't know. The media gonna always blow things up and make it worse than
Exactly.
what it is. They're not. I mean, that's what every team. But it's like they extra when it comes to the Cowboys. But they're gonna always blow stuff up and make it worse than what it is. With any of these players, especially the bigger name players, or especially the players that had a better season the year before. So he looked fine yesterday. I think with Diggs, the only thing I think that still kind of get at him is the double moves. He
Mm-hmm.
has to he has to get that worked on is with the double moves. Because even in practice yesterday, you know, the wide receivers was doing the double moves and they were still kind of getting him. So, I think that's one of his main things that he needs to try to work on is those double moves.
It's his
yeah,
recovery speed. See, that's the
yeah.
thing. He's not really fast. He's quick, but he's not fast. Some of the best cornerbacks in the league are fast, and they can
Mhm.
recover faster than Diggs can. And that's the issue. So he has to work on his technique, and he has to use his feet a little bit more. And that's
Well,
what's wrong
yeah.
with Diggs.
I have a disclaimer that I want to put out, and Jeff is probably gonna. Uh, Jeff is probably going to agree with this. There was a video out of Slay getting beat by what's it,
T
the
Hill,
kid by T
Tyreek.
Hill, yeah.
I saw that.
And a lot of people were making light of that. A lot of Cowboys fans are making light of that. And I went on, I went and commented. I think it even was on your post, maybe in another group. I said, when you're doing one on ones, the receiver is going to win
Yep.
90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's open field. There's no route combinations that you have to worry about. It's just the receiver, the quarterback, and a DB. And in those scenarios, the offense always wins because the DBs are 99% of the time pressing. So don't take any stock in these DBs getting beat on one-on-ones in training camps or when they're playing one-on-ones, when they're doing these joint practices, because that's not real game mentality. I'm pretty sure Slay against Hill in a game situation would be 3, 5, 7 yards off the ball, or he might have help over the top where he can press it, or they might be in a cover three where you got a linebacker coming up underneath where he could play over the top. Understand football before
Hmm.
you start criticizing one-on-one situations. Just like when you're doing one-on-ones, uh, hell, last year, what was our was it Connors that
Yeah.
was roughing up Aaron
Yep.
Donald, and people
Yep.
were hyping him up. Come on now, that was a one on one. That wasn't no a real game. It was a practice, and I'm pretty sure in a real game, Aaron Donald would have whooped Connor's ass. That's why he's not with the team anymore. You know, so that in my opinion only, I take no stock in preseason games who wins or loses. I take no stock in these joint practices, who wins or loses, because first of all, the veterans, they're not trying to do too much. The reason why, if you want to know why these fights get started in these joint practices, is because you have a young kid who's trying to make the team, who's giving 130%, and you have a veteran who knows his status on the team, that's just really going through the motions, trying to get through training camp. So this young kid is, after the play is over and he's still going, going, going. The veteran is like, okay, play is over with. Let's move on to the next play. That's how most of these fights get started. It's not because these teams don't like each other. Most players in the NFL are friends with each other. Most of them have each other on speed dial. A lot of it is because the younger players or the guys who are trying to make the team are going extra and they're doing what they have to do to impress the coaches. Whereas the veterans, they're like, come on now, this is just training camp, you know. So that's one reason why I don't take no stock in it.
Yeah, those 1v1s. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's a 9 route, right? That's all it is. It's a 9 route, and there's no shade from a safety over there. So it's just go and see who can outrun it. And again, like you said, most DBs are fast, but not everybody's Tyreek Hill fast, right?
Exactly.
Now, mind you, Slade was running. It looked like Slade was running pretty much step for step for him until he got caught in his feet and tweaked his hammy, right? I get it. Whatever. It makes it look worse. All of these are ESPN clips. That's what it's all for. They're like, hey, show him this, right? And that was the first play of drills. First play. They're like, show him something, give him something to talk about. Here's Tyreek Hill and Darius Slay. That probably won't happen again. Don't, like you said, don't take any stock in it. The practices are practices. That's where most of the veterans are getting their work done anyway. Everything's done on 7-on-7s anyway. Nothing's really done 1-on-1 except for showboating.
That's it.
I mean, AJ Brown got one right back on who's what's their main corner's name? I think it's their second corner. AJ Brown got him, like went deep on him. Right, that's exactly what happened to Diggs a few weeks ago. when Diggs was getting toasted, right? He's playing press on these guys, and like Nicky was saying, it's that two move, that sluggo, right? He's getting caught up, and he doesn't know how to react to it real well yet because he's still young, so he's getting burnt. It's practice. Who the hell cares? And by the way, it was in phase and out of phase. If I didn't say that earlier when I was talking about the Jalen Ramsey thing, right? That's what Diggs does. He plays in phase. He's playing in their hip pocket the whole time.
Yeah, and I think even with Jalen had to grow up because there were times when he was at Jacksonville where he was getting his ass toasted. And he had to grow up and learn that position. And for those who don't know, Diggs used to be a wide receiver. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they converted him to a DB. So
Mm-hmm.
as K Boogie said, he's only been a DB for about 5 years now. And for those who don't know, that's a big transition going from backpedaling to chasing. I mean it's I mean to running. An offensive player, especially a wide receiver, always has the advantage off top than a defensive player. Always. 100% of the time because he knows where he's going and he knows what he's doing. DBs have to, they have to recover. They have to read. They have to react. The offense doesn't. And I think that's one reason why a lot of the rules, um, back in the day, the DBs were able to mug, damn near beat up a wide receiver to get them to get them off their routes and this and another.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make the game exciting. And I think that's one of the reasons why the NFL has changed the rules to favor the offense when it comes, especially during the passing game. People want to see points. People want to see, 31, 34 games, 45, 48 games. Those games are exciting.
Don't
But the
forget about
t-
fantasy football. Don't forget
and,
about
and
that
yeah,
too.
yeah, and definitely fantasy football.
Well,
But you know, if you
it's
go
all
back to
hips.
if you go back to the playoffs, a lot of those games were 21-17, 24-17, 24-20. There was not a lot of scoring. I think there was only
Mm-hmm.
one game that got into the 30s. But that's because defenses tend to, they prevail.
Mm.
Defenses prevail. So,
Yeah, I think they for the DBs, again, like the artist has said down there, you got to react. It's all hips and feet, right? You're standing sideways, you're sidestepping, you're trying to backpedal the whole way, and that transition into a sprint already puts you, a half step behind. A half step in the NFL is enough to get you burnt. And I mean, think about it this way: there isn't a single DB in the NFL in NFL's history who has not gotten torched at some point. None.
Mm. Deion Sanders, Champ Bailey. Those are the only two, and Mark Haynes.
They've
Those are the
never
only
gotten burnt.
three. I don't think Deion has never gotten burnt, and I've never seen Champ Bailey get burnt either, or Mike Haynes. I've never seen
Well,
those three get burnt.
Champ might be an interesting one. Dion, I could see Dion potentially not being burnt because he'd be bodying the receivers, right?
And he's
Like Sean
fast.
was saying.
Deion ran a 40 and
Oh,
4-1.
he was ungodly fast, right? But he was still bodying those boys.
well,
Mike
while,
Haynes
while
was
we're
good.
talking, let me see if Dion ever got burnt. So,
I don't think so. He's too fast to get burnt. Maybe when he became like 36 with ankle and foot problems, but other than that, I've never seen Deion get burnt. Never. You won't find it. Maybe when he played with the Redskins, but that's when he was old. But in his prime, I've never. Even Jerry Rice was having problems with him
Oh,
in his prime.
so I looked for Champ Bailey. The
Champ
first
Bailey was
headline
good.
said the only thing I asked was, did Champ Bailey get burnt? The first thing that comes up, Champ Bailey was burned by Torrey Smith for a second touchdown. And this was when 2013.
So when we mean burnt, are we talking about a fly pattern burnt? What's the definition of burnt? To me, a
And
fly
it's a
pattern.
it's a 9 route.
Okay,
It's a 9 route.
I need to
First quarter
see that.
59. First quarter 59-yard touchdown down the middle
let's see here. I found
from
one for
Flacco.
I found one for a 46 yarder here, but I gotta before I put it up there, I'm going to see. Da, da, da,
I said
da.
it happens, right? Like even still, I mean it
Uh,
happens.
but
Everybody's gonna
he
get
was with
beat once.
yeah he was with the Redskins
So that don't count. Like I
and
said, that don't count.
it wasn't for a score. It was just a 46-yard pass. So
Rod
uh,
Woodson used to get burned all the time because he was susceptible to double moves.
Mhm.
And he was one of the best cornerbacks and safeties in NFL history. He
so
was
Kelly, that's very interesting, Kevin. So Kelly, how did you become a Cowboys fan? And I guess was your pops a Commodore fan or a Redskin fan, or was he a Cowboys fan? I want to kind of know that. Let's see. Dion had Curtis Dickey like speed. I mean, Dion was just Dion. You know,
mm,
that's just. I mean, what else can you say
prime.
about him? I mean, and even with that, let's talk about that for a few minutes. Um, when Dion made the statement about the Hall of Fame, that they're just letting anybody in the Hall of Fame, and that
Get them different colored jackets.
yeah, he needs a different color jacket because he's on a different level. Do you think that's an accurate statement, or was that just Dion being Dion?
Dion being Dion.
Yes.
That's Dion just being Dion. Everybody who's in the Hall of Fame deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, in my estimation.
Yeah, I think it's Dion being Dion, but I kind of see his point on some of it. It's kind of like some players that are going in, not saying that they shouldn't be in. I just think there's other players that should have got in before them or ahead of them that has gotten in. So maybe he probably could have worded it a little better. Maybe that's what he was trying to say was that they taking in people um sooner than other people should get in. Um, but I mean, I think everybody that obviously is a reason why they even on the ballot to even be in. So you have to give them their respect for that. But I do feel like it's some players that has gotten in sooner than some players that should have been in. Take for instance, Drew Pearson took him forever to get in, and he should have been in a long time ago. He was the only one of that class that wasn't in it, and it took him to cry on TV, fans to be outraged, write letters to the Pro Bowl. It took all of that just for him to get in when he clearly should have been in. Darren Woodson should have been in
He
by
should
now.
be in.
You know, it's a couple, and not just Cowboy players, but it's some, um, you know, you, I hate to say that. Got some players that probably should have been in before. Giants players that should have been in that before some of these other players. So I kind of get what he's saying, but I just think, Dion he has a different personality. Dion is who he is. He prime time. So,
Prime time.
he gonna say what he gotta say. He don't give a damn how you take it. Simple as that.
Now
So
play my
So yeah,
song.
right. And that's like one of my best videos.
yeah.
That's like one of
Here's
my
my
best
team music.
videos. I was
Mm.
like, Lord. And I just
Some
remember that from when I came to Dallas, he still had the club primetime and Blackberries. And I'm like, I remember him walking in with that damn juice curling with that fur on his shoulders. And I'm like, that's Dion.
He said it looked wet, but it was dry. My man.
so I'm gonna give an example of probably who
Oh.
who Dion was talking about. And this player that I'm named, I have respect for that player. As a matter of fact, I even like this player. I just didn't understand how he got in the Hall of Fame so quick. That was Edgerrin James with the Colts. I thought that he was a good running
Hmm.
back. I thought he was a very good running back. But was he deserving of Hall of Fame so quick? You know,
Is he first ballot?
he got in first ballot.
He was
Edgerrin
a
James,
beast though in his day though. He was a
Yeah,
beast.
I
I
mean,
just
yeah.
don't know what other running backs was going in or was trying to get in at the same time as he was. That's the only thing.
And I get that. But there's his stats weren't just like eye popping. Now granted, I'm gonna put it like this: the amount of carries and the amount of touches that he got was probably just under what Zeke got. Will we consider Zeke as a Hall of Fame running back right now? Would let's
Hmm.
say Zeke got a Super Bowl? Would Zeke be a Hall of Fame running back?
That's a great question.
And
Hmm.
if you go back and compare what Zeke has done without the ring and what Edgar James has done with the ring, there's not it's not too much difference. And that's where I say I kind of understand where Dion is coming from. Don't get me wrong. I Edgar James. I lived in Indianapolis. I was a Cowboys fan, but I love football, so obviously I had to watch the Colts play. And when Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James, because they brought in Edgerrin James, they were able to let Marshall Faulk go because they were targeting Edgerrin James in the draft. The Colts did, and he came in and he was a very serviceable back. But was he a Hall of Fame back? And that's why I feel like Dion is saying what he's saying. Not that Edgerrin doesn't deserve. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there, but what's the criterias? And that's where Dion was talking about.
Didn't Zeke say that any running back that rushes over 10,000 yards deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Didn't Zeke say that like a month ago?
I I haven't heard that. Um,
Because Edgerrin James has 12,000 yards, over 12,000 yards.
I yeah, but he was on one of the most explosive offenses, of all times, and then he went to Arizona, and still kept going. But would he have gotten those whatever yards he got with Indy if it wasn't for Peyton, Marvin, Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark? Because teams had to play cover. They had to play cover two and cover four against that Colts offense. They had to drop because if you brought anybody up, Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison was gonna kill you.
Mm.
Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark was, he was a beast as a tight end during those times. So Edgerrin a product of the offense, or was he a Hall of Fame running back? You know, that's the question that you have to ask. So the artist asked the question: Who was better, Curtis Martin or Edgerrin James? If you
I'll
had to
say
pick,
Curtis Martin.
I would have to say Curtis Martin.
They're both in the Hall of Fame, but I would say Curtis Martin.
Yeah,
Curtis Martin had 14,000 yards though too. That's another thing.
yeah, Cooley. No, it's not his fault. It's definitely not his fault. But you can use, but just like the same thing with that's the same argument that we can use that same argument when it comes to Emmett Smith. It's not Emmett Smith's fault that Emmett had probably he ran behind probably one of the greatest offensive lines ever made. If you would put Walter Payton behind that line, or if you would have put Barry
Barry
Sanders
Sanders.
behind that
Mm.
line, I guarantee you Barry Sanders would have had way more
More
yards
God.
than Emmett
Emmett.
than Emmett did.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Emmett. Oh, I love
Mm-hmm.
Emmett to death. But put Barry behind that line.
Mm.
Yep.
it
Goodness
it it
gracious.
it'd be that Barry would still have the running record right now. He would still have the rushing record right now. So you're right. It's not their fault. It's just how it goes. Terrell Davis. That's another one. Great running back. But how many
Mm-hmm.
years did he play?
He got hurt though because of his knees though. He was
Yeah.
he was a great running back when he was healthy though. He was.
Yeah.
And he got hurt.
It's like a
But some of that
TG3.
is also don't forget that he became part of the media, and the media is the one that votes you in. So he became friends with the media. That's another thing.
Yep.
LT.
It's that buddy system shit that they still running. That buddy system. Same thing with coaches on teams. They a coach get hired and they go get all their friends,
Yeah.
knowing they not worth what they should be to your team. Like Mike McCarthy did it his first season when he
Mm.
brought in what was that fool
What's
name?
it? Mike
Nolan.
Nolan.
Nolan. When he
Oh
brought
my
in Nolan,
God.
he knew Nolan wasn't worth being no defensive coordinator. None of his defenses ever did anything. So, but it was the buddy system. I give my friend a job. So
I think that's a comfortability thing. When it's your first year as a coach, you're comfortable with somebody. I mean, fuck, Sirianni did it, right? Brought guys from San Diego when he coached there. Brought guys from Indy when he coached there. Kept stout, thank God, right? But he brought some people in for comfortability, and now he started to add different pieces in here and there. So I think we're gonna get a new DC after this year, if I'm honest.
So, going back to Philly, you know, uh, what's the running backs coach name that's now up in
Deuce Staley.
Duke
yeah,
Stanley.
Deuce. He's in
yeah.
Detroit.
Deuce is loose.
How did you guys feel about losing him as a coach?
Heartbroken, man. I was heartbroken. Like that dude
He
was
gave a
so
lot
good
to
at what
that
he did.
team.
I mean, you can see it on Hard Knocks now. He gives a lot to Detroit, right?
Yep.
Detroit is lucky to have him up there, and we did him a disservice by not promoting him. I really feel like we did him wrong by not promoting him. But what's done is done now, and unfortunately, we can't take it back.
Mm. I hated Deuce in that damn pickle game. That pickle juice game. Oh Lord.
Hey, that was that three-headed. That was back in the three-headed monster days.
Oh my God, I hated Deuce. Lord have mercy.
Love that big body.
Although Philly was never our quote quote true natural rivalries, we've had some exciting games going all the way back to the '80s. And some drama filled games. Going back to the '80s. Um, I hated you guys' stadium back that first AstroTurf that came out that
Oof,
you guys had it. You know,
dangerous.
the one that was killing people, the holes in the holes that you guys used to have in the turf and things like that. Um, the Santa Claus game, uh, the the
The Michael
the
Irvin
the Mike
game.
and Get Irving
Yeah.
game. Uh, yeah, yeah. That's I think those are the type of things is the reason why I stopped. Like I couldn't stand Philly. Let's see. Uh, this has been a great show. Yeah, make sure you bring Jeff back often during the season. We plan on it. We plan on bringing on a Giants fan, a Commodores fan.
If you can
Hmm.
find
Um,
him.
And any
yeah,
other team that we
yeah,
might
any
play,
any other team
a
that we play,
fan.
we definitely plan on bringing them in. Yeah, we talk Cowboys, but we talk football too. You
Yeah.
know, and that's what I love about being with Nikki and K Boogie. And even when I was with Jeff, me and Jeff, we talked basketball and hockey. Jeff's a big hockey fan, you know. So
Weird being in Florida, being a hockey fan, right?
And Florida got one of the best hockey teams though.
Right now, we'll see what happens next year.
So yeah, so Jerry answered your question about 5 minutes ago about the wide receiver situation. He said we don't have any room to bring back a bring in a wide receiver. So that's
oh,
your question. That's your
oh,
answer.
so
We
there
don't
must
have
be
a room.
yeah, they must
Well,
be satisfied with what they got there.
yeah. He said we don't have any room to bring in a wide receiver.
No, no. The Eagles are stacked. The Eagles are stacked at wide receiver. They have no problems there. None.
Well, make sure you ask Jerry tomorrow. Is he going to bring in some more offensive linemen?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, you
Jerry
guys could
Jones gonna
probably
bring.
still make a move, but you're gonna have to get rid of somebody.
Are you talking about Jerry or on
No, no,
a
no. I'm talking
player?
about the team in general, like player wise. Yeah, I
The
mean, you
only
guys
way
still have
Jerry, I,
room.
I keep telling y'all, if Jerry draft you, that's like Tyron Smith. Like he's still here. Tyron should have been gone 2 years ago. Be
Mm.
honest, but it's if he draft you, you're gonna stay here way longer than you're supposed to stay here. He don't keep he keep the players that he draft forever.
Wait a
I
You could
minute.
be
understand that.
you could be almost riding down in a wheelchair. He gonna still say put him in the game.
What happened to Taco? Taco.
But
What happened to
That
shit,
Taco?
wasn't that
the,
wasn't a Jerry call though. I mean, Taco. I think Taco pissed Jerry off in that one game. Now, if you piss him off, that's different. But he don't generally move on from his drafted players. He will make a position for you. Some shit that ain't even on the roster. Just
and
so
when
he
Taco got drafted, how many people did like this? Huh?
I was like, what?
Everybody. I
I
was
was
looking at the
mad.
TV. I was like, who? What?
Taco.
I said, oh
But
shit, I'm going to
Michigan,
bed. I
mm,
just turned the TV off. I was
I
like, here
understand
we
that
go with that
feeling.
stupidity.
no, that was dumb. That was we had T.J. Watt right there for the chasing.
Right
We had T.J.
there.
right there, and we
And
took
he
Taco.
make us pay every time he plays.
Exactly.
Just like Randy Moss. Make us
Oh,
made us pay every time.
I don't want to
It,
talk about that.
it amazes me how many players want to play for the Cowboys, and they make it known that they want to play for the Cowboys. No disrespect, Jeff, but I don't know too many players that get on the draft say I want to play for the Eagles. But how many players say they want to play for the Cowboys? We don't
It's an
draft them.
opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to come to Dallas. Like, let's be really honest, right? You come to Dallas, and you're set. You're now going to be on the biggest stage that you can possibly be on. Your name's going to be out there, endorsements, money, $8 billion. I mean, it just got money. Come to Philly, and it's like, look, you're coming to work. You're coming to grind, right? You're going to get shit on by Cowboys fans and Cowboys players daily, right? Some people like it. Some people are made for it. Some people are not. Jalen Rager, Andre Dillard, time to go.
Yeah,
Mm,
that Randy Moss thing. I mean,
that was
just
crazy.
yeah, it was crazy.
That broke my heart because I wanted Randy Moss. I mean, Michael Irvin, who and Troy was still here. I said, bet we're going to get Randy Moss. I said, who's that? I was like, oh, hell no. Jerry Jones. Mm,
Really quick, we got a few minutes, but I do want to get back to the Zeke thing because I don't think we really addressed it. Zeke is pretty much in his final year of his contract, or the final
mm,
year of us having to take a serious keeping him because of cap reasons. Do you think it's time for us to, because we could potentially lose him and Pollard after this season.
I'll see that.
I don't see it either, but Zeke is the highest paid running back in the league right now. Do With this offensive line, do
mm,
you think that we need to feature him or continue to try to feature him? And I'll take this answer uh, from our viewers and from all the panelists on here. And we'll start with Jeff first, and then uh, we'll go down the line.
I'd be nervous about featuring him. I mean, I know he tried to get himself back in shape this offseason so he could be faster, hit the hole a little harder. Um, but his production has been going down and down, and Pollard seems to be rising to the occasion, um, especially with the offensive line the way they are right now. It may be in your best interest to feature Pollard more and just kind of let Zeke ride off into the sunset, if you will.
mm,
From
Uh,
from my perspective, does he still have it? Yes. Problem is, are you going to be able to afford him moving forward if his production continues to keep going downward?
Nikki,
I say, get our money worth. I mean, I love Pollard. I think they're gonna try to balance it between him and Pollard. But Jerry already said what he wants. He wants Zeke to be featured because Jerry probably thinking like some of the fans thinking, hey, this gonna be his last season. Get his money worth. If nothing else, let's feature him that this his last season with us, and maybe if he do good and he do this, I can get a trade. I can get a trade out of him. Another team will come in and say, hey, we still think he can do this, we can do that, we can do this, and we can actually trade for him versus just letting him walk and take that cap hit. I mean, it'd be like an $8 million cap hit next season. But I think that's the plan, to feature him as much as possible, get as much out of him as we can. Hopefully, other teams watching and they looking and they thinking that, hey, we can probably step in here and get him and take some of this cap hit off of their hands and still bring him in on another team. I don't think again Jerry drafted him, so I don't know.
So, quick scenario: what if before the trade deadline, somebody comes and offer you a third or fourth round pick, and a starting left tackle for Zeke?
You just had to throw that in there, huh? Left
We
tackle.
we
Would
need
you?
one.
Would
Siren
you?
ass gotta have an
Yeah.
MRI.
Would you? Would you take that trade?
Got a young man
Mm.
named Andre Dillard that might be available. Just saying.
Oh Lord,
You know
Andre
what is
Dillard.
surprising me though is that we've done some trades with you guys lately. That's really shocking to me. But would you trade Zeke knowing that
Be right
either
back.
you're going
Stand
to
by.
pay, yeah, either that you're going to have to pay him next year, or that you're going to have to replace him. I mean, you have to pay him next year, or you're going to replace him. Would you try to get some value out of him now if somebody offered you something for him?
I don't
I
think
don't
Jerry gonna do
know.
it.
He's only 27 years old, though. It's not his fault that the Cowboys ran him to the ground. It's not his fault that our offensive line is depleted. Zeke is the type of running back where you need your offensive line to be healthy to open the holes for him because he's a power runner. He's different than Pollard. Do you understand that we've gone through this already with the other running
No, I
back?
mean I understand it. I'm just I was only reason why I'm asking is because I saw somebody was talking about him today, and I can't
But
remember
we
which
still
show.
got to get Pollard up to being a every down back. Pollard is
Yeah,
not a every down back,
he's
you know.
definitely not.
He
And
wasn't an every down back in college either, though.
right,
He was a gadget player in
right,
college.
and people fail to realize Zeke do a lot, um, on the field. He do, even though he do a lot. So, and him and Pollard are so two different type of runners. They both bring something different to the game and to the field when they playing. So I don't know. I don't see Jerry letting go of him. Like I said, he drafted him. Jerry hold on to his draft players. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't see him leaving this season at all.
I don't think he's going to leave next season either. I don't think so. He's only 27 years old, like I just stated. And he played banged up last year. He played banged up. One, and our offensive line was depleted as well. So you're going to just let this man go because we think that he's done as a 27, 28-year old running back? Because everybody keeps saying, well, you can find a running back. I get so tired of that nonsense. You can't find a running back every draft that's going to produce like Zeke. Can't do it, in my estimation. You can't do it. You can't find a running back that's going to do what Zeke. Zeke is a great pass blocker. He can catch out of the backfield. He can get you the extra yards. It's just the fact that our offensive line has to be more physical at the point of attack and stay healthy. That's the issue and why Zeke could not run the last couple of years, and plus he was injured last year. I'm
Yeah.
keeping Zeke.
And for me, I would love to see Zeke and Pollard combine for around 18 to 2100
Hmm.
yards, and Dak throw for about 36, 3700 yards. Balance the offense out more. To take that, I'd take a blueprint out of Cleveland with that two-headed when I had a two-headed
Mm.
monster a couple of years ago, and they it was successful for them, and they were successful for them in one of the hardest divisions of football, that in the AFC North. They pounded the ball, they pounded the ball, they pounded the ball. Um, I get the whole flash of throw the ball down the field, put up 30, 40 points a game, so forth and so on. That's for exciting football. But it's time for the Cowboys to win and win a playoff game. When you get to the playoffs, it's not about throwing the ball all over the field. And if you don't believe it, look at what Kansas City did. Kansas City throws the ball all over the field during the regular season, but they run the damn ball in the playoffs. They run the ball. Cincinnati, when they was in when they was in Kansas City and they was trying to throw the ball over the place this last season, they came back because their defense stepped up and they ran the ball in that second half of that game against Kansas City. So I'm only
Mm.
asking that question. I only ask that question because I see a lot of uh, comments in some of these groups about Zeke. Oh, Zeke's washed up. Zeke is this. Zeke is that. Zeke. When in actuality, if we just use him right, he could be a productive back. Now, on the flip side of that, Zeke can't be tapping his helmet after he has a 12 and 16-yard run. He can't be tapping his helmet to come out. At least stay in the game to be a decoy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
But now finding out after the season that he was hurt and he was playing hurt, do we now think that's possibly the reason he was tapping his helmet because he was playing hurt, but nobody knew that. They kept it under wraps and he was playing hurt, so he can only do so much at that point and like, okay, I need to come out for a minute. Now if he do that again this season and he supposedly be healthy, um, like with all our players, we always get, they always feeling the best they ever felt. Yeah, in the off season. Y'all ass ain't never where y'all supposed to be in the regular season, you know. So, could it possibly be now that might have been the reason why he was doing that, and everybody giving him grief about it, but we didn't nobody knew that he was hurt. They kept it under wraps. Nobody knew that.
I mean,
Mm.
teams got to know.
I'm saying the team knew,
Yeah,
but the fans didn't know.
yeah.
The team knew because Mike McCarthy came out and said that it happened around week 4.
When
Hmm.
they
You
played the
know,
Giants, that's when he got hurt.
he got hurt. He came out and said it. It happened around week 4, and they had just been undercoverly nursing it. But not putting it out to the media. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, this year is riding on a lot for him, a lot. For him, this season is riding on a lot for him.
Here's a fun fact about Zeke and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 26-4 when Zeke rushes for 100 yards. 26-4.
Hmm.
Mm. I like
Why do
though.
you think I want him to go so badly?
Nikki, here's a question for you.
Hmm.
Nikki. Nikki generally answers all our questions.
She on mute.
I'm a fullback like Emmett had. Yeah, I always say we need a fullback. I've been saying that. I've been saying
The
we need a
dying
fullback.
position.
Yeah,
But it's
there's
not. They just don't do half fullbacks anymore. They'll turn one of the linemen into a fullback for a brief moment. You know.
Baltimore and the 49ers are the only two teams that really feature a fullback.
yep.
Yep.
I think the last most impactful fullback there was played with San Diego, and then he went to
Yeah, I know
that
exactly
was
what you're talking
Neil.
about.
Neil.
Yeah,
He played with San Diego, and then I think he went to the Saints, didn't he?
Thanks.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
The key.
Alonzo now.
yeah. He was the last impactful fullback there was. Let's see if I'm
Put Cooley
mistaken.
Cool back up there.
Uh,
He said Zeke stats went down when
When
Frederick
Frederick
left.
left.
Only Barry can run without a line. He said Zell. But I know he meant Zeke because I know Zell unless he's sending us some money. But
Lorenzo.
we know unless Cooley Cool sending us some money. Yeah.
Oh
and that's an
man.
interesting stat about Barry. If the amount of yards that Barry lost, and he still got the yards that he did, if you was to add those yards back on,
Mm.
Barry would, you know, Emmett's my guy, you know, but I have the ultimate respect for Barry and Walter Payton.
Yeah.
It's really Walter Payton. He was probably one of the hardest runners that ever, for his size, he was probably one of the hardest runners I ever seen.
Sweetness.
Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what time it is?
Oh damn. 10
It's
o'clock.
it's old man time.
Same.
Right.
It's
Well,
old man time. But it's fun. Time flies when you're having fun, and I like definitely like
and when you're speaking facts.
Yes.
And you're not
not
begging for
fiction.
stars. And
Oh my God, I can't. I can't.
It's gonna be interesting to see,
Mm,
what topics certain people talk about in the next couple of days.
yeah,
damn,
not
boys just
mad
jabbing.
because
Pow,
nobody's
pow.
sending stars. I'm just saying. Um, Jeff, thank you for coming on.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Jeff.
you guys
Appreciate
having me.
it.
Um,
Yes, yes.
Glad
we
glad to
definitely
talk
want
with
we
level-headed
definitely
folks.
yes, and we definitely want to have you back on when we win. We want to see you
So I'll see
again
you next year.
with this same attitude, same face, same hat. I just want to see it
Oh,
again. Make
there will be others. Trust.
but no, wait, I hate they hit those stars like
You better hit them stars, or we're gonna have problem. We got follow. Oh, that's it. I'm sorry.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
will say this, folks, that
I want 10 stars.
we're working on our YouTube channel, so be looking forward for some information on that, and we'll definitely get that information up soon. And I know we've been promising that, but I looked at our call-in number. I do have it on my phone. I need to get a speaker, and we will get that call-in number up hopefully next week.
Right.
So, um, Nikki, you got a bash coming up next year. You want to talk about it? Get people excited about it early?
Oh yeah. Of course we're doing our second annual NFL Diva Spring Beach Bash, Virginia Beach. I don't even know the week right off the top of my head. So but it's in May. I think it's the second week, third week of May this year. We had to move it up a week than we normally did last year. So the flyers are out. The hotel you can book. Start booking your room now. You don't have to pay a deposit or anything, but you can start booking your room. It is eventful weekend. All fans are welcome. So Jeff, come join us. Come have a good time with us. Come have a good time.
When is
Let
it?
all these cowboys surround you. You might
Well,
end
Oh
up being
my
a cowboy
God.
fan.
Oh
you know,
my God. He said nope.
No, just playing.
you
But yeah, I post it on my page again, and Sean, next week I'll have it where you can post it on the show.
That's what's up. Like I said, once again, we are looking at, let's see, 7 plus 11
You did that earlier.
is 18 days till the till Cowboys play, Eagles play. I'll go ahead and give you a little promo, Jeff. Uh, I'm excited. Two more Sundays. Well, three Sundays, two Sundays, two more Sundays. We'll have football,
So real
real
quick before
football.
we get out of here, what is Jeff? What are you looking for to on your last preseason game out of your team?
honestly just solidify the twos. Really, I don't know how much we're going to see from the ones. It's different now that we're only doing 3 games. So sorry, I thought I had myself muted there. Yeah, solidified the twos. I don't know how much the starters are going to play. I don't know how much I want them to play. Let them have that little bit of rest before they go back into the season, and then let's get hot.
Okay, look at what you looking for in our last preseason game.
I'm seeing how the cornerback's gonna play because Drew Lock is gonna play 3 quarters and Geno Smith is gonna play 1 quarter. So I want to see how basically our cornerbacks react to their starting quarterbacks. I want to see how Rice gonna play. I want to see how my man, boss man, Fast gonna play. That's what I'm looking forward to more than anything else. And plus, they're playing at home, so they're gonna be a little comfortable. The surroundings there, so let's see what happens. May the best cornerback win, because one they both may not make the team. One of them may have to get cut or be on a practice squad. So let the best man win.
Right.
The only thing that I'm looking for is how hard the team plays and how disciplined they are. That's my my I look at that. The team, a coach is supposed to be able to. I don't want to say control his team, but they're supposed to. He's supposed to be able to. The team needs more discipline. And I want to see that. I don't care what string you're. I don't care if it's ninth string players. I want to see how disciplined we are and how hard the guys play. Um, and that's all I'm looking for. No more, no less. I don't care about the score. I don't care about us being at home. I just want to see us be disciplined.
Mm.
And the artist, Nikki's number one fan, says less penalties.
Right. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for discipline, looking for less penalties because this is the last game that you have a chance to say practice and fix this and get it under control. From after this, is real, and it can hurt you and in all of the games. Um, I'm also looking for I kind of want to see what's gonna happen with this backup quarterback position. That's another thing. Um and I'm with K Boogie on the secondary. I definitely want to see what happens with this secondary and who makes it, who goes. I know, but I feel like Bland is there. He's made it. He's improved every game. Bland. He even played well in practice yesterday. So I feel like he's there. Um, so that's what I want to see. I can't really say focus on coaching yet because I know that they doing Bland stuff. They're not trying to show nothing, show their hand. For us, it ain't that much that got to be done because we already know the basics of what Keelan Moore gonna do. We just hope he move away from some of that same stuff and he opens up the playbook a little more and gets a little bit more creative with some of his play calls and stuff. So that's all. That's it for me. That I want to see.
All right. One more question.
Let's
Keep
see, cut,
playing.
cut, cut, bro.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh.
That
I
would be a
don't think so.
yeah.
See,
Might be a
that's what I
dream.
mean. Why is everybody talking about Brown and not Lewis?
Well,
That's
Lewis
my that's
injured.
But still though, I'd rather keep Brown, not Lewis. Lewis, I'm telling you, every third down, penalty. Y'all gotta check the film, check the tape. Whenever there's a penalty, he's holding somebody. Everybody want to go at Brown, I understand, but Lewis is also a problem. He's a problem, but that's it. I'm done with that.
Well, good, because old man says I got to go to
I gotta
bed.
go to bed.
Night night. You gotta go night night.
All right. Jeff, thanks for coming out, bro. I will
Thanks,
de-
Jeff.
Amen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
yes,
Appreciate you.
we'll definitely
Appreciate you.
see you in a few weeks. If you want
Amen.
to come back before that, let us know. But we'll definitely see you during Eagles Cowboy week.
Oh,
Word.
real
Yeah,
quick,
I
real
gotta get
quick.
I gotta get to bed too. 4 o'clock comes really early.
All right.
People
Good
don't
night, Jeff.
understand that.
Thank
All
you.
right, see you later, buddy.
So what
But
you said? Go ahead, Nikki. What you said? What you
go
got?
ahead. No, I say have a good night. Thank you for
Uh,
coming on.
Oh, I thought you had something for me.
No,
Okay.
you
All
don't want to
right.
hear about it. Y'all don't have no crown boxes.
Not sure what that
Oh,
is, but all right.
Crown Royal.
Y'all don't have no
Uh,
Okay.
crown warrior bags and
Oh,
boxes.
okay. So Idris, we gonna have you on, buddy. Let's try to get you on next week, man. We can talk about them Giants.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're about to get off now, but Idris, Jeff, and we're all in the same group, so
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Idris
all
is
go.
cool.
Yeah,
He's
so
very realistic as well.
Idris, we'll try to get you on next week, bro. I'll inbox you.
All right, cool
All
beans.
right, see you later, Jeff.
All
all
right,
right, man.
y'all.
Y'all be
Okay.
good.
All right.
Later.
Peace and blessings.
All right. What
All
were you
right.
about to say, Nick?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm making a run to the liquor store tomorrow. Not tomorrow, maybe Saturday, cause tomorrow the game. I'm making a run to the liquor store Saturday for anybody that want the Crown Royal box and bag and the Crown. Um, hit me up. Let me know. I already know Liggins. I already know how many you want. So
I
I
need
already
one.
know. So anybody, I'm making one. I'm letting y'all. I'm making one liquor store round. I'm not gonna be going no liquor store no every day and every weekend. So I'm just telling y'all now. Come Saturday is the day.
Grab me one. I'll cash up you
So
the money.
just let me
Let
know.
me let yeah.
Oh,
We'll talk before then, but definitely I want you to grab me one.
All
Kelly
right.
says she wants one.
Uh, All right.
mm.
All right. Okay, but I know you don't drink, but you can use it for decoration for your guests.
Oh my
Yes,
God. Here
Dallas.
we go.
Dallas is on the bottle.
Yes, Dallas
No,
is
no,
on the
no.
bottle. I don't know if they on the bottle, but they on the bag and they on the box.
Yeah.
They
So
just
Who's
don't
going to
throw
the
the.
ESPN thing tomorrow, though? Is anybody going to that? Did y'all throw that question out there?
Besides
Jerry
me
Jones is gonna be there, and Dez gonna be two of the guests tomorrow on ESPN with
and
Stephen A.
Michael
Smith.
Parsons.
Mike's gonna be there
Will be
too.
a guest. He will be a guest as well.
Oh man, listen, I'm gonna be on my laptop on meetings, but I'm gonna be looking at that.
Yeah. What times does it come on?
10 o'clock.
9. Well,
Oh well,
What?
Eastern time 10.
Eastern
10.
time,
Yeah.
10,
All
9
right.
our time.
It's
I'll
gonna
be
be
there
something
hiding with my phone
else.
up.
No,
But not,
you better not. Gonna be like, yo, there go Nick right there. Get him, Nick.
don't try
Get him.
dare. Don't try dare.
I'm
Well,
gonna text you, be like, yo, get him.
Yeah. I mean, get him, but we don't want to have to get you out of you know.
No, I ain't trying to go to jail. I got to go to the game. I got to go make my assessments.
Okay. All right
All
then.
right.
Well,
Well, good
once
night,
again,
everybody. Thank
Sean.
everybody for tuning in.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, peace and
Good
blessings.
night.
Later.
All right, money good.
Bye.
All right, Kelly crazy.
Bye, y'all.
All right, bye. Night.